Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and this is day 89 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on gratitude. So, yay for day 89. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I made it to day 89. I have 11 days to go. That's getting so close. It's kind of exciting for me. I'm very grateful that I could do that. And I'm grateful for today. Stressing a little bit more than I should be, I think, because I'm waking up with a little bit of a headache. It hasn't turned into a full on migraine. I hope it doesn't. I'm actually not feeling it at the moment, but I think it's just because I'm stressing. I'm having a hard time just trusting, letting go, and trusting that God is going to take care of everything, but still doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing in hopes that that will work because it's worked in the past. So I know it'll work in the future. I like to be in control and I'm not in control. So I have to remember that I'm not in control. I have to let go of that illusion of being in control. Um, anyway, um, so, but I'm grateful that I can make this video. I'm grateful to have made it to day 89. I'm grateful that I actually got up today in spite of how I was feeling. I thought about playing my games. I keep thinking about playing my games on my phone. That's in the back of my mind of the something to do. But I'm trying to do better things first. And I just feel like I had so many other things that needed to get done before I could play my games that putting my games off is, and I think it's a good thing too, because I'm just putting it off and putting it off. I'm like, I may not get to play my games today, and that will just have to be okay. I still haven't got my tires checked. I'm going to do that when I'm done with this video, and then hopefully I'm going to go to work again tonight. But I'm grateful that I was able to look at my finances this morning, and not that I have extra money to spend on tires, but I do have money in other places that I can take to spend on tires if I need to. So I'm not as destitute or desperate as I felt like I was last night. And I feel like that's a blessing from God to just point out that I have more than I realize I have. I just have it earmarked for other things. And I would love to leave it earmarked for those other things, but I can borrow from or take from those other places if I need to take care of what needs to be taken care of today. So I feel very blessed to know that I have that, to know that God is taking care of me and He's getting me what I need in the moment that I need it. And it's not it's not the way that I want. Obviously, nothing ever works out the way that I want. I don't think. I need to stop thinking that it's going to, but I still think it will and get disappointed by that. Something I need to work on. But I'm grateful to see that things are working out, and I'm grateful to know that God is looking out for me and taking care of me in ways that I don't even realize, I think, and that it is safe to trust God. It is safe to trust myself, to trust that things will work out, and I don't have to stress about it. I can relax. I keep telling myself that. I don't think my brain has figured that out or my head has figured that out, because otherwise I wouldn't have a headache. I think it would work a little bit better if I actually journaled about it. So I just need to journal about it because I think that will help to alleviate my stress and help to solidify or internalize the gratitude that I'm having and seeing the blessings and God's hand in my life of things that are working out. And so I'm grateful for that. And I was feeling very grateful today, so I'm wearing my Thanksgiving shirt. It's not really a Thanksgiving shirt. I don't think you can really see it, but it has Winnie the Pooh on it, and then it has yeah, you can't really see it. Sorry. It just has like fruits and flowers that are all worn out around it, so it looks like food. So I call it my Thanksgiving shirt because it's Winnie the Pooh with a square of food around it. Anyway, so and I know it's not Thanksgiving time, but I feel very grateful. So I'm wearing a Thanksgiving shirt, or what I call a Thanksgiving shirt. It's really old and worn out, but I like Winnie the Pooh and I like the shirt, so I figured that's what I would wear today. And then if you see me wear another red shirt later this week, you know that it's not the same shirt. So I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for little things today. I'm grateful that I actually, instead of playing my games today, like I said, I got up, I read my scriptures and meditationals, I took a shower. Well, actually, I figured out my finances first. I didn't do that before I went to bed last night, but I did that this morning, or I guess this afternoon when I got up. I did that when I got up today. I was like, all right, because it was just in my head that I needed to take care of that. So I'm like, fine, I will pay these bills. I don't have the money to pay them. I wanted to not pay them because I was worried about my tire, but I decided to pay them anyway. And then as I did that and figured out what money I had where, I realized that I have enough. I think I have enough money in other places that I could possibly buy 2 new tires today if I need to. So that just made me feel very grateful, very blessed that hopefully I don't need to. Hopefully I can put it off for a few more weeks until I can actually have the extra money to do it. But if I can't, I know that God will help me make up the difference to be able to replace the money for those other areas at some point, and it will be okay, especially since my work is offering bonuses this weekend, and hopefully they'll continue to offer more bonuses throughout this month, which means that I will have opportunities to make more money to make up for what I'm not losing, that I'm having to spend unexpectedly because I just don't have the money set aside in my savings, which I need to start doing. I've been trying to do, but saving pennies doesn't add up to what I need right now. I just haven't focused on my finances for a really long time, so that's something else I need to focus on and figure out, which is why they're a mess, because I've just ignored them and they've done whatever they want to do, and now I'm trying to figure them out, and it's like, oh crap, I'm behind on everything and I have to pay this and this and this. And as soon as I get all the behind stuff caught up to current stuff, then I will have extra money that I can start putting towards debts to pay off, to get out of debt, or to set aside for emergencies or future things that I want to do, like getting braces and building a house. So that's a good thing, but I'm not to that point right now. I'm to the point where I'm still playing catch up. So anything else that jumps out at me freaks me out because I'm like, I don't have any extra money. I'm still paying double for stuff that I didn't pay. So, but it's okay because God is showing me that it's okay. He's showing me that He's taking care of me and that I have the money. So I'm grateful for that. I'm just grateful for the things that I could see. And then because I was grateful for that, I decided to continue to read my scriptures and meditationals, and then to take a shower and get something to eat. And now I'm doing my YouTube video, and then I'm going to go get my tires looked at. So, and I'm not worried about it anymore. I was stressed out about it. I was worried about it. I was all of those things. And now I'm not. I mean, it doesn't matter. So, I'm okay. And God is taking care of everything, which I'm grateful for. And He's, He works little miracles through me, I think, sometimes, and I don't even realize it. And I'm grateful that I'm doing these videos because it's helping me to realize God's hand in my life more. And it's helping me to feel better about myself, to see the good things in myself, to realize that I'm not just trying things, I'm actually doing things. I'm actually doing these YouTube videos. I'm actually to day 89. I'm actually working to pay my bills, to pay my debts. I'm actually doing it. I'm not just talking about it. I feel like I'm just talking about it, but I'm doing it. I mean, I actually wrote books. I still haven't figured out how to get them responses from beta readers. I've got a couple responses. I need to do some reviews, but I think that's going to be my next 100 days. I'm going to focus on my writing. I'm going to focus on getting my books published. And then I know that those miracles will happen because that's where my focus is going to be. And I will continue to be grateful and talk about gratitude as well. But I feel like that's the next thing for me to work on, because I feel like I'm building enough confidence in myself and trust. I'm building trust in God, which I didn't realize I was doing through these videos. And I haven't been trusting God, and I haven't been trusting myself. And I've spent a lifetime trusting other people that were telling me things that didn't feel right to me. But I figured they knew what they were talking about, and I didn't, because I didn't trust myself and I didn't trust God. And it reminds me of something that happened when I was really little, before my grandpa died. So I had to have been like 6 or 7. And I was riding a horse. I mean, my grandpa was leading the horse and I was on the horse. And he put my little sister on the back with me, which I didn't like that my sister was on the back. I wanted to go by myself. And then the horse started to turn, like he was walking around in a circle, and it started to turn, and I kind of freaked out. So I kind of jumped off the horse onto a pile of hay. And my grandpa was like, "What did you do that for?" Like he wasn't like angry. He was like, why did you do that? And he, like, I put my sister's life in danger, like not in life entirely, but I mean, she could have got hurt. So, I mean, I'm lucky. He's like, he was able to catch my sister because she fell when I jumped. So I was like, he was able to catch her, but I jumped. And he's like, what did you do that? Because you scared the horse, you scared your sister, did all of this. And I was like, I don't know. I felt like I was gonna fall off. And I was like, and he was like, well, I, I was like, I didn't trust the horse. And my grandpa was like, well, didn't you trust me? It's like, I would have taken care of you. And I think he said, I don't remember exactly what I said in response, to be honest. But what I remember was he said, if you can't trust me, then who can you trust? And I didn't know then that he was teaching me a lesson. Um, Sorry, I didn't think I would get emotional. I was very much a grandpa's girl, but he died when I was 7, so long time ago, which is why I don't remember all the details of that story. Just the trust and that question that if I didn't trust him, who can I trust? And I think it's kind of sad to realize that at like 6 or 7 years old, I didn't trust people. That things had happened in my life at that point that I was not trusting. um, and so it was sad that I didn't trust my grandpa to be, to take care of me. If the horse turned, I just felt like I was going to fall off. So I jumped instead of falling, and I didn't trust him. And then his question was, if I didn't trust him, who can I trust? And I didn't know the answer to that, and I didn't know why I didn't trust my grandpa then. I didn't know that it was because I'd been hurt at that point. I'd just had circumstances that were outside of my control, outside of my parents' control, obviously, things that had happened. But it does cause trauma, and so I lacked trust, I lacked confidence. And then, of course, I wanted to ride the horse again, and my grandpa said no because then he didn't trust me to not jump off the horse. So it kind of, there's consequences of that as well. But I think doing these gratitude videos and realizing last night and today that I've been putting my trust in God, that things will work out okay, even though I can't see what the outcome is going to be. And I'm still trying to figure out how it's going to work, and I have no idea how it's going to work, but trusting that it's going to work. And went to work last night, and my tire stayed inflated the whole time, and trusting that if I paid my bills today, that I would have money to get new tires if I need to get new tires. And God showed me how I can do that today. So I just feel blessed because I'm trusting him, and he's showing me that my trust is not misplaced, that it's okay, that he's taking care of me. And just like my grandpa was telling me, that it was okay, that he would take care of me. And those are the right people to trust. And I need to trust myself, and I need to trust God. And I can learn to trust people that have earned my trust, that have followed through with things that they've done. And I don't have to trust people that have lied to me, that have hurt me, that have tricked me, that have cheated me. I don't have to trust those people. I don't have to believe those people. And it's funny to me because I've run into some people that have, been begging for money and sharing their sob stories and their circumstances, trying to convince me to give them money. And I had an experience, I think it was last night even, where someone asked me for that, and I told them no, and then I had to go to the bathroom, and then I was thinking about it, and I started listing all of the stuff that I have to pay for, and I was like, maybe I should have told them that. I said, okay, well, who's going to pay for my tires that I need to get right now? Who's going to pay my rent? Who's going to pay for my kids' clothes? Who's going to pay for all of these bills that I don't have the money for? I'm like, seriously, does it not even occur to them that I have other expenses too? I'm like, oh, you want to help me out with my expenses? Like, do I have spare change? I'm like, maybe I have spare change, but I'm not going to give it to you when I have all these other things that I need to take care of for me first. And I feel like I was getting cynical and not caring. And I'm like, I feel bad. I'm sorry they have their sob stories. But then I realized I'm like, I have my own sob stories. And I'm not out begging people for money. I'm out working and doing the best that I can. And somehow God is providing me with what I need on a daily basis. And it's really is just from day to day. It's not an abundance. I don't have a ton of extra money sitting around anywhere. And the extra money I have is earmarked for other things that I need to get, but they don't need them in this moment, so I can take the money and replenish those later. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. And it was nice to see that maybe I'm not being cynical, that I'm just learning to trust myself and to trust my instincts and to know that not everybody out there is going to be honest, and not everybody out there has my best interest in mind, and not everybody else out there cares that I have other problems going on in my life, because they're dealing with their own problems. And I can say I'm sorry for them, I can say a prayer for them, but I can't sacrifice myself for them. I can't, because if I give them my money, then I don't have money to pay my bills. So, sorry, that's kind of gross. Like, that's what I get for crying. I wasn't planning on crying when I did this video today. I didn't think that was going to come out, but I'm grateful that I can see these differences in my life, that I can see that I'm learning to trust myself and trusting God, and that it's safe to trust myself, because I think I grew up in an environment where I didn't feel like it was safe to trust myself, because every time I stood up for myself, every time I said that I wasn't comfortable with something or didn't believe something, it was like, well, it didn't bother the other people, so it shouldn't bother me. And I was like, okay, but it bothers me. Or, I was told that they had to do that because I was a girl and girls couldn't do things for themselves. And I was like, why, what does that have to do with anything whatsoever? I'm like, you get to do things you're not supposed to do because I'm a girl? How does that make sense? And then I just felt like there was something wrong, and there was something wrong. It just wasn't something wrong with me. It was something wrong with the situation. So I learned not to trust myself. And I misinterpreted that and thought that it was wrong with me instead of wrong with the other person. And I can look back now and see that it was the other person that was making me uncomfortable, that was doing things they weren't supposed to be doing, that was unacceptable behavior. But I still accept that unacceptable behavior because that was the norm that I grew up with. That's what I was taught. That's what I was told. And even though it didn't feel right, it's what everyone, not everyone in the world was doing. It's what my family of origin was doing. It's what, taught to accept whatever other people want. And just, I'm like, okay, if I just give in to what they want, then they'll leave me alone, or it's just temporary and I can just deal with this. So I learned all of these survival techniques and tactics, and how to just survive, and how to tolerate the intolerable behavior, the bad behavior, the things that made me uncomfortable. And it never occurred to me that I could say no. I mean, I think I tried to say no and people just ignored me. Like, no didn't mean anything to these people. Like, they just did it anyway. And they're like, oh, but we knew you'd be okay. And I'm like, but I'm not okay. I don't agree with this. Like, yeah, but it doesn't bother me. And, oh, I knew you'd be okay with it. So they just did it anyway. So I just thought that my no didn't matter, that my boundaries didn't matter, that I stopped trusting myself because there must be something wrong with me if I wasn't okay with what everyone else was doing. And now I'm grateful that in doing these videos, in seeing God's hand in my life, is teaching me to trust Him, is teaching me to trust myself, to realize that I'm not cynical against other people. I do care about other people, but I do need to care about myself, and I need to take care of myself first, and I need to allow other people the opportunity to take care of themselves. And it's better to be self-reliant and do things myself than it is to ask for or take handouts. And I don't like asking for or taking handouts, but I appreciate when people are willing to help me. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the things that God has given me. And I'm grateful that I can listen to myself, and I can listen to God and what He's telling me, and that I can have peace even when I don't know what the outcome is going to be. And it's a new feeling for me. It's a different feeling for me. And honestly, it's a little scary, like being on that horse when it's going around that corner, and I feel like I'm gonna fall off. But I'm trusting that I won't fall off. And I didn't trust that when I was little, but I'm learning to trust that now. And I know I'm not necessarily on a horse and this is life, but I'm learning to trust. And I'm learning to trust people that aren't going to let me down. I mean, I know humans are humans. People always disappoint in some way or another. We're not perfect, but God is perfect and He's not going to let me down. But He's going to answer my prayers or take care of me in ways that I'm unaware of right now and not necessarily with the things that I want, but with the things that I need. And I'm grateful that the things that I need are being taken care of because that's the most important part because once my needs are met, I feel good. I feel better because my needs are met. And yeah, I still want things, and it's okay to want those things. It's okay to work towards those things, and maybe someday I will get those things that I want. But I know even if I don't get the things that I want, that I will always have the things that I need. And I am grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I can learn to trust myself and that I can be okay with saying no because, I can't. I have my own sob stories. I have my own problems I have to take care of. Everybody does. And if I can help someone else with theirs, that's great. And if I can't, that's okay because I'm just not in a position to do that. And maybe someday I will be. Um, and maybe someday, even if I am, I'm not just going to throw random money at people that come up with me some sob story because I'm just like, okay. In fact, some guy came up to me and told me he had a job, but that he, wanted something. And I'm like, new shoes or something. He's like, you can see the holes in the bottom of my shoes. And I'm looking at his shoes and I'm like, man, I've worn shoes that have way worse holes that are worn out way worse than his shoes are. And I was like, and you have a job. I was like, okay, and I don't understand why you can't go buy yourself new shoes. I'm like, I'm sorry, maybe that's a little cynical. Um, but I think as horrible as it is, that man will survive without a pair of shoes for a while until he can afford them on his own or until he can bum the money off of somebody else. But I was just like, wow, if all I needed was a pair of shoes, oh, that would be so nice. But I am not where I just need a pair of shoes. I need so much more than that in my life right now. In fact, tires are way more expensive than a pair of shoes. So I was like, yeah, I may need to get new tires. I may not. I don't know. I still need to go get that checked out. But I, it just, um, but it's my circumstances, and I know that I judge my life. I base my life and my responses off my own circumstances, off of what I know, what I've learned. And I know other people have different experiences and they respond based on their experiences. And that's why I need to learn to communicate better because then I can understand theirs and they can understand mine. And maybe there's something I can do to help, maybe there isn't. But at that point, I just was like, I can't help you. And I didn't downgrade. I didn't tell him there was anything wrong with what he was asking for or whatever. I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I can't. And then, of course, I thought of all the reasons, all the things I have to do. Like, I had to justify to myself why I can't help this person. And I was like, okay, but he needs a pair of shoes. He doesn't even need a new pair of shoes. I saw his shoes and I was like, man, my shoes are as worn out as yours. I've had shoes that are worn out worse than his, and I still worn them and not cared. So I was like, yeah, you don't need a new pair of shoes. You want a new pair of shoes. Um, but I mean, everyone thinks that they need different things, and they have their own level of what they need and what they don't need. So I just pray that God will give him what he needs to do whatever it is he needs to do to take care of himself because I can't do that. I can't take care of anyone else other than myself. And at some point, if I get to some place where I can help other people, I will. And maybe these videos are helping other people, like they're helping me, and that would be great because then I'm helping other people while I'm learning about trust and about gratitude and about myself. So, as my little road to self discovery and gratitude and things like that, I think are very beneficial. And I hope that it's helping other people that are watching these videos, seeing this process that I'm going through. Maybe it'll encourage you to start focusing on gratitude for 100 days and seeing what things that you can find and see how your perspective changes and view of yourself and view of others changes and realizations of things. So I'm grateful today that I'm learning to trust. I'm grateful that I can see that. grateful that I can do these videos and maybe in some small way I help other people, because that's all I can do right now. It's all I have to offer at the moment, with my progress. And I'm grateful that doing this has taught me confidence and taught me about myself, which I think will help me in my writing. It will help me to get my books published, because I will feel more like I'm worth it and that I can do this. And because God has shown me all these blessings, focusing on gratitude, I know that when I focus on my writing and do 100 days of that, that my books will get published and blessings will come from that as well, because that's how God works. I do my part and I put forth that faith that He will help me. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do what you're telling me to do and it's going to work. And it works. I don't know how it works. I just know that it works, and I'm grateful that it works. And I'm grateful that I can see it working, and I can see the little miracles in my life. And they don't have to be huge to have an impact. And I'm grateful for the impact that they're having on me and on my life and for the things that I'm learning. So just very grateful for today, and very grateful that I woke up able and willing to do things and going to work instead of playing my games, because I think that's a little bit of progress. I know I've had some days where I do that and some days I don't. And just grateful that I am feeling grateful and focused on gratitude and wearing my gratitude shirt and or my Thanksgiving shirt. We have to call it my gratitude shirt now. I don't know. But and I'm grateful for the people that are watching these videos. And like I said, I hope this is helping. And if it is, you can hit like, you can subscribe, or you can share it with someone else you think might benefit from these videos. And thank you for watching. Have a great day full of gratitude.